When it comes to the Digimon card game, I literally have one question. Why is it that option cards only get one printing? Is there a rule that prevents Digimon attacks from being printed more than once? And because of this, can we get new retrained variants of even older cards from the first wave of starter decks, and more? The narrative of today's video is to briefly cover option cards like you've never considered before. Some will point at the history of option cards, their rise and fall, along with newer option cards of today. By the end of this video, maybe you'd like to see some of these option cards come back in a variant that I've discussed. Or maybe not. And as always, if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more future content. In the infancy of the Digimon card game, players defaulted to certain option cards as staples. Take Red for example, in which Gaia Force was a dominating red option card despite its high play cost, until it was ultimately phased out for Digimon with built-in removal effects. After all, following its second printing, you had Digimon who in essence had built-in removal, like Agumon Bond of Bravery. You also have Hammerspark, a blue option card that saw consistent play for quite a while, until of course its restriction on the last ban list. And now with the more recent ban list, you see cards like Blinding Ray and Shack Ray getting the axe. The fact is, when it comes to option cards that are the namesake of specific Digimon attacks, Bandai seems to make it a one and done kind of deal. So from here on out, let's look at a few avenues in which Bandai could take an old option card and convert them into more playable options that could be used in today's card game, modernizing the feel, damage, and flavor. Again, like most of my discussion episodes, I open up with some Wargreymon options before jumping around and giving some power creep to others. Some you'll find flavorful, while others might just be the impact of the effect. So of course, for the first example, I am going to touch on Gaia Force. Gaia Force should undoubtedly have the same effect as its original card, but with a few minor tweaks. The first being that with so much anti-removal and immunity in the card game, my suggestion is to currently make it so that if no Digimon was deleted by this effect, you get to trash your opponent's top security card. And considering Gaia Force 0 lets your Greymon Digimon attack, I decided to tack on this extra bit as well. The security effect of course is simply deleting one of your opponent's Digimon, and if no Digimon was deleted, you get to trash the top security card. Overall, for the first concept of this video, it really flows generally with the current cards in the game that would give it precedence. But the remaining concepts take a few other directions as well. Dramon Killer would be a 4-cost option card with really no card in the game that makes it similar to. Instead, this option card throws out precedence and mainly looks at flavor, though I did combine elements of other existing option cards to make this work. This 4-cost option card deletes one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP, an effect that is similar to Mega Flame but gives it some better removal potential because of the fact that it's not limited to 6,000 DP or less. Though to be fair, Mega Flame should have arguably been an 8,000 DP or lower option card just to give it enough DP removal to remove the likes of Digimon like Parrotmon. Flavor, right? Flavor. This option though has additional flavor though, in which if you have a Digimon with Greymon in its name, you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with Dramon or Dragon in its traits instead. This largely focuses on the Greymon theme of deleting Dragon-type Digimon with Wargreymon's gauntlets, though it's not a perfect one-to-one. Though you have to admit, the flavor's nice, right? The next option card up for discussion that I theory-crafted is going to go to Brave Shield. Interestingly, this option card made its grand debut in BT1, a whopping almost 20 core sets ago. This 5-cost option card made it so that you could unsuspend one of your Digimon, and then that Digimon gains blocker. Security, the same effect. But these types of options are so weak these days that I really want to incorporate one additional flavor point as well. This option card would let you use it without meeting its color requirement if you have a tamer in play. And the whole purpose of this is to make a parallel reference with Digimon Tamers when Terriermon wielded Wargreymon's shield. Security effect, it simply draws one and adds this card to your hand, since you know, it's a defensive option card. Though the old variant was 5 memory, the newest variant I am conceptualizing is an option card that provides protection a different way. It gives your Digimon full immunity through your opponent's turn, and then places it under one of your level 6 or lower Digimon. The reasoning for this particular phrasing is to prevent D-Reaper decks from going turn 1 Mother and playing a Tamer, and then slapping Brave Shield onto the board with their Mother D-Reaper. Because this option card has 2 key effects for its inheritable. The first, of course, being blocker. The second being a single layer of protection that prevents your Digimon from leaving play by trashing the source in the Digivolution sources. Again, this concept rose from the idea of Digimon Tamers, in which these options disappear instead of the Digimon. Neat, right? But this particular option card was also loosely inspired by the 3 Musketeers options from EX7, because they can also be tucked under their specific trait Digimon for additional benefits. So far in this video, I've discussed an option that is a retrain of an existing option card that takes from other existing option cards. Another looks at using some other cards as a template, but ultimately looks at flavor. And the last one looked at incorporating anime-related lore and more. But the last option combines even more of these elements into one wacky option card that I honestly thought would be amusing. Great Tornado is the last option for today's video, and is again a retrain of a card from BT1. When Wargreymon first used Great Tornado against Venomyotismon, it was really cool to see the whole aspect of him just piercing through an enemy Digimon. But in later parts of the show, it felt like once Wargreymon got going, no matter the number of enemies, he'd break through. Which is why for this last option card, Great Tornado would be the cheapest of the option cards, because it serves no means of protection or removal. Instead, it targets one of your Digimon in play and makes it so that it cannot attack players for the turn. Meaning even if it could unsuspend, you can't go for game. That Digimon then gains plus 3000 DP and piercing, and may attack all of your opponent's Digimon that are either suspended or unsuspended. And you perform security checks after each Digimon is deleted. The whole concept of this is to imagine a Wargreymon or equivalent Digimon turning sideways, then literally just goes after all of the specific state Digimon on the board. Is it good? Not by any means, and really just could be a meme tech in a build. As for security, it just deletes one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP, because at that point it's more of a 1v1 me bro kind of moment. Again, I know I mainly only touch on Wargreymon related ideas when I do these topics, but if you're in agreement with this topic, of course there's going to be considerations for a new Cocytus breath, and more. Generally, do you think Bandai should bring back some of these options with retrains? Or do you think with Digimon, consistency is always more important? Let me know your thoughts on this particular topic, because if it happens, I'll be laughing at this one too. This DIGI-PANDA? Logging out.